All right, we are live. I want to welcome everybody to the PDR Workshop live show. We have, as always, Dave O from Windy City Dent Repair, Ryan from RPS Dent Specialist, and we have a guest here, Charlie Molina from the PDR Shop. And I believe you're based out of Texas. Is that correct?
Yes, based out of Austin.
Austin, Texas. All right, guys. So this is a tech spotlight, and obviously, Charlie here. We're going to go over some of his past accomplishments and where you're at right now, and all that good stuff as a PDR tech. Getting a little personal, but whatever you want to share with us as fellow dent guys.
I'm an open book, man. That's no problem.
So I want to welcome you to the show.
Thanks. It's great to be here, guys. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. Any chance to talk about PDR, I'm good.
Definitely. Sorry, we didn't have it switching over at the beginning. So, Charlie, you are probably the most soft-spoken, humble guy I know in this industry, man. I think we connected like in 15 minutes last year, was it? I think we spoke last year. Yeah.
The year before we met up a couple times at MTE.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think we were standing outside of the instruction day, the education day, I guess they call it. So, chatting. And you're a wealth of knowledge with all the tips. I think before this show came on, you were just sharing even more and more tips of, I guess, your experience with chasing and tool ideas that we were going back and forth. So anyway, let's go on with the show. As always, we start off with our favorite tool of the week, guys. So who wants to go first? Maybe Charlie?
I'll go ahead.
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
I'll go ahead. I'll get it out of the way. I've had a couple. Well, I just had a couple Instagram messages this week. Since it's been super cold here, and people are asking me, "What glue do you use?" I'm still using the green. I'm using the green glue, even in cold weather. I use the Swiss blue for a little bit, but this just keeps popping back up in the gun. So, I really, really enjoy this glue. You guys are the ones who turned me out to this, and I haven't looked back. So just to answer a few of the Instagram messages from this week, this is the glue that I am using currently, still in 30-degree weather. So Cactus Green, you can pick it up pretty much anywhere, any online distributor of PDR tools. So that's the one I use. I don't know what the actual use for it is. It's in this card here. It says green is for... Green is for moderate to warm. Okay. I'm still using it in 30. I'm still using it in 30. It's still pulling. So I have no issues. I still have no issues with it. That's what I'm using. That's what's staying in the guns right now. So yeah.
Year round.
Year round. Yeah.
I've been that way with tab weld for a few years now, where all kinds of glues just keep coming out, and I just stuck with tab weld, and I just started trying the orange one, hog
glue.
How do you like
mackerel? Yeah, it's surprisingly strong.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing how different temperatures in different states use different glues. Like tab weld for me never really did anything. It never worked really well. So
right. So it's just a timing thing. I only ever use like 1 or 2 tabs. I'm really just a 1 tab at a time and just quick pulls. So I like that. And that's how the hog glue was too. I was only using it, and I was in Denver for a week, and it's cold. So just put 1 tab and you just don't even wait. You just pull it right away.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I got to try that Cactus Green.
I love that stuff.
I really enjoy it. I was a big tab weld fan. As soon as that came out, that's what I was using. I really, really enjoyed it. And then the first time I went to the East Coast here with these two guys, they were just promoting green like it was no other. So I'm like, tab weld's where it's at. They're like, no, green is. And then I slowly started moving to the green, and I haven't looked back since. So, but I got to try out that hog glue.
Yeah, I haven't even pulled it out of the bag. I ordered a few because Ryan keeps ripping and raving about it. So sitting ready to go. And Glexo sent some glue. Has anybody tried the new Glexo glue?
It looks really good, but I still have the original from Brazil, the Cola Fria.
Okay.
But I like the setup that came with the Glexo. You know, it's a really good looking kit.
Yeah.
I
and
agree.
it works.
I agree.
It works. Yeah, for sure.
I had one guy that I met online. He brought some of the actual Cola Fria to me, MTE, I think 2 years ago. And it was just like a little ball of it. He's like, here, try it. And I did, you know, and it worked well. But that was at the same time, it was like Cola Fria, sticky tab, to like all of that was kind of coming out. And I would have to, the sticky tab tape was nice because it was already on a tab.
That stuff
Whereas
is nice
like the
too.
Cola Fria, you know, I had to put it onto something, which I didn't really have the right thing. And now the Glexo kit
that one's
is
really,
a nice,
really
it's like a nice package.
There was a couple of garbage
knockoffs,
you know, that just left a big mess. But man, there's a couple of them that are man, you just can't deny it.
Yeah,
I'm still using the sticky tab tape.
Sticky tab tape's one of them. Glexo is just good, and Cola Fria, man, well, if you see some of the stuff that I pulled, it's impressive, man.
Yeah, definitely.
All right,
Ryan, you want to go?
So I'm bringing two little items on. So these new little tips from Edgy Tools, man. This little sharp tip I used today, amazing, absolutely amazing. So is this one. So you have one, this little, I don't know if you can even see it. This little thing, you actually use it for creases, and it doesn't pick it up. It's super smooth, nice soft push. And then I finished it with this sharp one. The reason I use this sharp one today, I've had it since MTE. It's an Edgy Tools. They're mini. I actually had to get the names off my phone earlier because, you know, Dave Stream's got the craziest names ever. So the little round one is the teeny weeny tip crease release round. And then the other one is a teeny weeny bullseye sharp low profile. So the reason I had to use this sharp low profile, I was working on a Subaru, WRX today, and they only had half of the headliner dropped. They didn't want to, like, the visor was glued up, and they didn't want to drop the other side of the headliner because I was working on the roof. So I used Chad's Endeavor rod with this tiny tip, and it was so much more low profile with the rod and the tip than my Carbon Tech. So I could get in there, you know, you figure a round rod rolling on the headliner compared to a square rod slid perfectly in there and just worked it. So these little low profile tips are awesome.
Who sells
and it looked like they're.
Go ahead.
Who sells those?
Edgy Tools.
Edgy Tools.
He has a whole kit for $127, and it comes with a whole bunch of different mini tips. Or each one is $27.50 a piece. This little round soft crease tip I used on my dent dial on Saturday on a fender. And just that little, you know, as small as it is, I mean, it's really, really tiny.
Yeah, like
fit perfect in there and could get that inner edge. So I'm really enjoying these mini tips. It still has the O-ring on the backside. They're really good. I buy them. That's all I'm going to say is buy them.
Nice.
That's it.
Charlie, you want to go?
So, man, just a set that a lot of people, well, Blum, for one, is a company that gets kind of, you know, lost in the mix because they never go to MTE. They don't do a lot of advertising, but man, there's some really good tools. So this is one of the tools in their shave tool set. They're extremely flexible. And these can get into places that, you know, a tiny hole. I mean, I don't know what the diameter is on this, but I don't know stuff like that, but it's a set of 5 tools and this is the smallest one. So, man, they can get into a small hole, but then when they're in there, it can work like a whale tail. And so I really like those. And something else I wanted to, it's an entire set. It costs like $269 on PDRtoolstore.com.
Blum's the OG of tools,
yeah,
man.
Yes, and they got really nice handles. I have one set that's all Blum. I have another set that's all A1. And man,
is it still round at the handle?
My A1 tools are round. These are
like the shaft itself. Is it round?
Oh yeah, it's round. It's shaved up until about right here. It's extremely shaved. I don't know if I can get that in there or not.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they stainless?
I don't know.
Hey, first question he stumped on the first one.
I don't know. This is a lot of times.
That was the best answer I've seen in a long time. I got the shrug.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so, because honestly, a lot of my Blum tools don't hesitate to rust.
Okay, then they're not stainless.
Nah.
But this was a new set, and I'm not sure.
I'm sure he'll be on here soon, because he usually is an avid watcher, so I'm sure he'll mention here shortly.
Very cool. Something else I want to talk about. It's kind of old school. So I'm really kind of old school, and I don't have a lot of tools. I have one tool that takes screw-on tips, other than my blending hammer. There's these sleeves. Ultra sells them, and they can go on all your left and rights, and you just buy a big bag of them, and man, that's what you do instead of wrapping up your tools and spending all that time. But man, just putting these sleeves on, and then they make them big enough to go all the way onto your rods.
Does the sleeves, do you actually puncture through the sleeves as fast as you do like tape?
No.
Nowhere near it.
And you can double them up too. So they're different sizes. So there's a small one that might fit right on there, and then you can put a bigger one on top of the small one. And I have some of those that you just can't push through.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, they make the yellow ones too. Okay. Ultra does. So they're the thicker that'll slide over the black ones that are super thick.
Okay. I have so many that I've used that for like 20 years. I've just always used those. Ever since I started, I always used those.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, and that Blum set, guys, Charlie's brought this on, and I thought it was a great tool just because, I mean, I was at MT this last year, and I do have Blum tools, and I really kind of swear by at least their door tools, their ratchet handle. And this year, someone really expressed that he's used other shave tools before, but the Blum set is just top notch and does not compare, or none of the other ones, I guess, compare to the Blum set. They're just he said that it's just the way they move, the way they push, the way they fit into vehicles is just completely different than I think Ultras or Dentcrafts or something like that.
Wow.
And I mean, that flexibility there is huge.
Yeah,
and then you still have that pushing power, correct, Charlie?
Oh man,
I mean, even when it's still in there.
So even when it's in there and you're twisting with it, it doesn't leave those lines. You know, you're so used to like. So if you can get a shave tool in there, it's gonna have some power even when it's torqued.
And $270 for 5. I mean, 5 of those is not a bad price whatsoever. It's a good price point.
Yeah. There is one tool in the set that's not like these. It's just got a big 90 at the end, and it's more of a door tool that's kind of shaved. It's a bigger tool, but there's 4 of them that are shaped like this. This one's the smallest one, and this is their largest
one. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And it's a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's about
an inch and a half.
Yeah, inch and a half, maybe 2 inches.
Nice. Yeah, I use
it's still pretty flexible.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But man, these are incredibly strong.
Now, I like to bend some of my shave tools, just like probably whale tails. Do they bend, or they seem like they just kind of snap back into place, though? They're not really designed.
Like, you can go really far with these and they'll stay bent, but then you just straighten it pretty easy. I mean, it might still have a little bow in it.
Right.
If you're really, really torquing it, but they go right back.
Peter Vega was saying, he goes, I think they're spring steel.
It might be. That makes sense.
So he goes, because they rust as well. So, but the T handle, is a nice option sometimes to have that power. I like that as well.
I like the T handles on these A1. It's honestly one of my favorite tools, and I said I have one set that's all A1, and this tool, it's the exact same as my A1, except the A1 is maybe a foot and a half longer, and it has the
gun handle.
right hand gun handle. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, that's a fantastic tool.
This is the second time we've been recommended that set. So
it's a necessary set. It's probably the only thing that I have that I say is just, all of my tools are just normal. I don't have a lot of fancy tools, So,
I don't know. I see a fancy tool back there on that little stool.
My moose knuckle. It's just,
look at
that. It's just a moose knuckle.
It's fancy. It's a fancy tool, Charlie.
All right, no, I changed my mind. In the last 3 or 4, I've been doing this like 20 years, and in the last about 3 or 4 years, now I have some really nice stuff. Like all my lights, even my Hale lights, they all run on James Lee's little adapters. I run all my Hale lights on Makita batteries. This is a 12-volt socket. Just clamps right onto the Ultra stand.
Perfect.
And it's got the switches and the dimmer switch.
Mm-hmm. Is that really a game changer for you guys to do Hale instead of the battery?
No, well, no, it's not so much that. I mean, yeah, I definitely prefer it, but it's not that I just do Hale. I'm kind of still a mobile service, so I'm constantly loading up. Every day I load up.
Okay.
You need that versatility between things.
That light.
Yeah, I like to I leave the batteries on the light. It's not, there's nothing falling around or anything. And that's fine for other guys but the way my setup is, this works out great. I just one hand put my Hale lights in the van.
Nice.
I don't even use a battery anymore since I've had that. I bought the really big DeWalt battery, and that thing will run.
Oh yeah,
forever.
So, yeah, I used the 5.0s on it, and it's great.
Yeah,
can't beat it. And which light do you run with? Go ahead, Ryan.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
No, which light is your favorite, Charlie?
Right now I like the Pro PDR Solutions Chubby HGs.
Okay.
So that's my favorite. I have the standard Chubbies, and I ordered them on their website. You have to make sure it's not like you just go into Chubbies and you build out your light and then you choose HD. HD is a whole separate build, and I didn't realize that, and I ordered 2 of the wrong ones. And it doesn't bother me unless I'm working next to somebody with real HDs.
We got a couple guys asking, how long do those batteries last on a full size light?
About 5 hours. A 5.0 will last about 5 hours. That 9.0, well, if you have a DeWalt and you're using a DeWalt 9.0,
it'll last 2 days. Yeah.
Even if you're doing a Hale car, you could leave it on at lunch and go to lunch.
Yep. Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, the only thing I don't like that I miss is the weight at the bottom of the Hale light stand. Yeah. You know, the battery weight with that. That's the only thing I just don't like. But
and I use that battery tray to store like step stools.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always a step stool on the bottom of my light stand.
When I noticed that the Ultra Dent tool stand seems to work a lot better without that weight. I have the what is it? The Pro PDR stand, the all aluminum one that blows away with the wind. I think Ryan, you have the A1 stand. I mean, all those seems like they're just junk.
And the Pro PDR solution stand, the wheels on those things are like ice skating.
Yeah. You have, I mean, I've literally put it outside and started rolling down the street.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what in the world?
It's gone.
So yeah. Well, to keep it rolling, I will show you guys the tool that is stealing the show for me this week. You can see it's been heavily used here. I use both ends. You can see the marring on one side and then obviously the striking side. So this is the edgy, what he's calling it, the no roll knockdown. I think this is the best bang for the buck knockdown right now. I know there's some other competitors out there. They're roughly, well, I don't know their prices, but this one is $45. I'm pretty sure he's going to go up on price with this bad boy. At least I would. It is that good of a knockdown. I don't know if it comes with any of the caps. It probably comes exactly with how you see it right here. But he does make a cap kit called the Woodpecker Little Pecker.
Yeah.
Dave and his names.
His names are crazy. So I think
he blamed it on his wife.
Oh, man.
He did.
So if I'm reading this correctly, you get a little bit more tips, I guess. You get the white ones, the black ones. You get some caps for the other end, the more blunt end. And then you get this other screw-on tip, if I'm reading this correctly, for $35. Last time I checked, they were out of stock with this, but I'm telling you right now, this is very good knockdown, to be honest. And I don't even use it for the no roll. Like, I really don't care for the no roll. I'm glad it doesn't, roll a little bit, but the fact that I can have two striking areas, I have the blunt, and then I have the precise kind of knockdown. And if you take the caps off, if you like those VIP knockdowns,
yeah, I do.
They have the I guess stainless steel polished tip on both sides.
I really enjoy that knockdown.
Yeah, that knockdown. And the only flaw is I've already lost one cap, and it's not because of him. Is I took it off and
the stock cap that comes on that side, right? Yeah,
right. So I took it off to use the polish, and where is this thing at? So that'll be something I'll be buying as a consumable.
But I really like that tip that he puts on there too. I mean, that cap that he puts on, I really enjoy that cap.
I don't know, man. I think this is the best engineered tool right now. I mean, I feel like this tool should win. It's how simple it is. The grip, kind of like the big pin grip, I guess what it is. It's like a foam grip. It doesn't slip out of my hands. When you knock on a steel, you kind of get that vibration. This kind of absorbs some of the vibration. I'm sorry. This knockdown. Mad props to Edgy for coming up with this, or even spending any time to design this, man. I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Does any of you guys have one? I know, Dave, you have one.
I really enjoy it. Whew. I really enjoy the weight of it. I enjoy how it knocks down. I love the versatility of having a polished tip already on you as you're knocking down if you need even more precise or need that metal on metal. I haven't used that side as much, the shorter side.
Oh.
I haven't used that as much, but I still just enjoy the knockdown with the weight. Even that 90-degree on there, I just still, there's something about that knockdown in my hand. It's nice.
Is that short side polished?
Oh, yeah.
It is.
So
under that cap.
This cap is a little harder to take off, but if you take the cap off, it's polished almost the same tip that's on the top. And so I use this again for just blunt. Not obviously for crowns, I would use my blending hammer, but if I need to get his idea was to get in underneath the kind of mirrors. You have a ability to strike, and you don't have a knockdown that protrudes, this far out. But for me, I just use it to knock down, like for a blunter, blunter blow, because it has that rubber kind of, I think 1/4 inch type, blow. So, but anyway, kudos to Edgy It's edgytools.com. It's called the No Roll Knockdown. It's $45, guys. So to get on to the show, let's find out a little bit about Charlie here. So first off, Charlie, can you tell the viewers just a little bit about yourself? What you want to, share with these guys? A little background.
Background. I started in '99. I got trained by a company in Alabama to do Hale. We had they had a little franchise in New Orleans.
Oh, nice.
So there I did door dings. I was trained on light boards, but moved into Hale like the first year. By 2000, okay. I was chasing Hale, and in 05 I lost my house in Hurricane Katrina. Me and my wife just moved into our RV and just did Hale. We lived in an RV as nomads for like 10 years.
You sound very nonchalant about that. Yeah. Obviously, well, I'm sure hindsight's 2020 and looking back now, but like that within itself, I'm sure was huge.
Yeah. At the time, yeah, it is. But I mean, honestly, looking back on in my situation, what I ended up losing, like 20-year-olds and who were in my situation didn't really have much to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a time in your life where starting over is probably,
better
not a big deal.
Yeah.
That was the best case for me.
What was the worst part? What was the worst part of that? Just the start over factor, or was it moving? I mean, how did that?
Not knowing where you wanted to live. There's a big thing. Unplugging yourself from having a home base completely is something I wish I wouldn't have stayed out for 10 years. I don't mind chasing Hale for as long as I did. That was actually great. My wife traveled with me. Nice. But having no home base since we've been here in Austin for the last 4 years, I wish I would have did this 10 years ago.
So just settle down a little bit was something that you kind of always desired, it seemed like. Now you talk about your wife. Does she work with work inside of your company now, or?
Yeah, she does. It just depends on how busy I am. Yeah, she definitely has skills that she can help. She jumps in when we get really busy.
Okay.
And we have so with Mobile Tech RX, you can have it on multiple devices at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll get emails coming in, people filling out my form, and she's starting the estimate ready for me to take over. So all the information, the client's already there.
Nice.
Also, when I subcontract for people, and I do that a ton. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm working for one of the other companies here in town and doing a job for them at one of their body shops, as soon as you send an invoice to that body shop for that company with Mobile Tech RX, you automatically get CC'd a copy of it. And so when we're really busy and I'm doing that, as those come in, my wife is remaking invoices, keeping track of what I'm owed from everybody.
Nice. That's
paperwork really helps, and her online stuff really does help.
Nice.
Do you still have the RV?
I had a 40-foot RV and we got rid of it when we got this house, but I do still have an RV and I still use it pretty regularly.
Nice.
So you go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dave.
I was gonna say, so you started in '99, you said?
Yes.
Or 2000?
Now it's 20 years now.
Wow. What did you know about PDR then?
Oh man, we didn't know anything about it then. It was the craziest thing in the world,
How did that evolve into you actually becoming a tech?
So you just kind of I did it like an apprenticeship with somebody. I was actually paid. I was being paid while I was training because I was a helper. It took me like a year to learn. So I just kind of traveled around helping a door ding guy as a trainee, and like what's it called? The kids who carry golf clubs.
Gopher.
Caddy.
Yeah, gopher. Yeah, caddy. Yeah. I was a dent caddy. And I had so many so many friends. So it hailed in New Orleans like right around that same time, like right around 99 or early 2000. I'm not sure which one when it was, but it was like right in the beginning. It hailed in New Orleans. And so I ended up meeting a lot of guys, and I just started doing hail right away.
Right.
And that was it. Just took off.
Back. Yeah. Hale was definitely the direction that I went.
And you were just learning throughout that entire process, obviously, just through other technicians that you were networking with in your local area. And then, so I would assume you're a successful Hale tech after, X amount of years. And then
my entire network was Hale. I just started doing like retail around here, and just in the last 3 or 4 years.
So then Hurricane Katrina hits in 05.
05.
So you were a PDR tech for 4 or 5 years ish.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. I went to Denver after that, and that's actually when I started the PDR shop in Denver. And
really,
I thought in 05 I wanted to stop chasing Hale and tried to start building something in Denver, and actually was doing pretty good. But all the accounts that I was trying to get, there was always these PARS cards there, and I was like, "Who's this PARS guy, man? He's everywhere." And it ended up, it was a company with a bunch of technicians, and one of the managers was like, "You should go and talk to him. It's a good company." And I'm sure there's a big stigma. I was with them. I rode that ship down,
Oh wow.
And but I don't regret the time that I worked for them. That was like 9 years of just great hail chasing. It was better money than I had ever made before.
Nice.
That's good.
Nice.
The stepping stones,
Yeah.
Creating that autobiography, making it interesting.
Hey, and you guys gotta stop me if I'm just trailing off. I will get off subject, and you guys can say, "Stop it."
No, that's good. So Hurricane Katrina hits, you set up in Colorado. You think this is it.
Yeah.
And it's not it, obviously.
Right. Yeah. I was actually doing all right, and I ended up going down to meet the guys at PARS. So I was only in Denver that first year. I was through the winter of 05, but started chasing hail with PARS the summer of 06.
Okay.
Nice.
And then that relationship lasted for a period of time.
Yeah, until they went bankrupt.
Got it.
Okay, then.
So
whatever ended up happening with them. Honestly,
so PARS, PARS closes,
Yeah.
and then so now you have to decide what to do again. Correct.
Right. Well, no, my network had already kind of branched out by that point. I already had so many people, and there was also something with PDR links. It seemed like everybody with PARS just kind of ended up in PDR links.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I did that for a half a year, but honestly, I've been pretty much complete independent since what was that, 2012, 13, something like that.
Yeah. Are they still around, PDR links? Because they've been pretty okay.
PDR links is big.
Yeah. Okay.
They're big with Service King.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's who does the service.
So there's another portion of their company that they sell the warranties at dealership all over the country, and so they're a warranty company too.
Okay.
So, and I would assume that it wasn't like, because I think Hale techs have this entrepreneurial like spirit already, just because they're out there like actively trying to find work and actively trying to connect and all that stuff. So they have this ability already to do that. So when was it that like, hey, I think I either need to set up shop somewhere, or like, how did that come about? Because it wasn't like, hey, I'm going to start a business. You're already kind of doing that.
So I was, okay. Here we go. I'll try and stay on topic. A few years ago, I was chasing Hale, and I started making Makita powered glue guns for just my friends, and they all liked it, and they were like, "You should start selling those." And so I ended up getting on Facebook. I had a Facebook account for probably 8 years, but I just got on Facebook like in 4 years ago, like 2014, maybe 2014 or 15, something like that. And as I got on Facebook, I found all these dent communities, all these forums, and I got hooked on it. I'm not so much on Facebook anymore. I mean, it was a short window, but during that time, I caught wind of a podcast that was starting out, and they were on like episode 2. PDR College had just started.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And I'm chasing Hale with no home. I literally had no home and didn't even know where we wanted to live. And I'm listening to Keith Cosentino say, you know, why would you chase Hale if you could make this kind of money at home? And I was like, yeah, this guy's making a lot of sense. I want a home. So, I mean, immediately I got fired up from that podcast. So
nice.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff has transpired from those PDR College podcasts. It seems like that's kind of the grassroots of this social media for PDR.
Yeah,
I know we do YouTube now, but they are the grandfathers of it. You know, bringing
they had a huge impact on my career, 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So now you decide to set up shop.
Yeah.
And so what's the first thing that you're starting to implement in that journey?
So, well, right now I'm a completely mobile service.
Okay.
Out here. And what do I implement? Well,
now you said that you go to Denver.
Yeah, so I have a set of tools I keep in Denver. I have a lot of friends there. A buddy of mine. I don't know if I can give a shout out, Ryan Rashadi.
Yeah,
thanks for letting me crash with you, bud. So I fly out to Denver, and I get a chance to work with friends. I have a lot of friends they've just been busy out there, and so nice. I've been doing that since October. I just go for a couple of days here and there.
Okay, so it's not permanent. It's more like Texas is your area.
Texas
for the last couple of months.
Just the last couple of months, I've done a few days here and there, and you can fly to Denver for round trip $70.
Okay.
It's, how do you not do that?
Yeah.
With no notice, I'm going there for like $300. Yeah, I'll just come tonight. And so it's hard to get out of Hale. When that's what you feel, that's what you do. Everything that I post is all about door dings and larger dents. There's nothing that I get excited about more than PDR used to do collision work and stuff like that. I get excited about that. And that's what I like to share, because I started learning about that stuff later on in my career.
Wow. So now it's kind of like a new endeavor. It's like something new for you to kind of tackle.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. So even when I'm doing Hale, I find the time to take on minor dents and stuff like that. Most guys, when they're doing Hale, that's it.
Yeah.
But I still like to do those.
Ryan, you had something?
I was going to say, when you fly to Baltimore this year, when we get Hale, it's going to be a little more than $78.
It'll be worth it though, right?
For sure. So in Texas, I don't know if you spoke on it. What is the town that you're actually developing or you're at right now?
I'm about 10 miles on the south side of Austin. So it takes me about 10 to 15 minutes to get into Austin.
Okay.
I'm in Kyle.
Okay. So I know nothing about Texas.
Yeah.
Dave, I think you lived in Texas for a little bit.
I lived around the Dallas-Fort Worth area for about 2 years, so I know where Kyle's at.
Oh yeah. All right, we're on the map.
Yeah. I understand the geography of Texas.
Yeah.
I don't understand everything about it, but yeah.
10 miles straight down the interstate.
Correct.
What is your do you have a projected outcome? What is your end goal here in your PDR shop business?
It's kind of morphing, and right now I'm just kind of rolling with the punches. I don't have a 5-year goal. I'm just kind of staying open to any opportunity that presents itself. I thought that it was going to be a shop for me was the end game, but I after spending my entire career working next to guys, when you're doing Hale, you're just with buddies all day.
Yeah.
And when I transitioned into wanting to do this on my own, you just find yourself going from just constantly working all day. You take lunch with buddies, and then you go back to work to doing 5 dents in a day.
Yeah.
And you're just by yourself all day. So
it's lonely.
Yeah. So I started reaching out, and I got some really good friends in this area, from the Recon Shop, 5-star PDR, Express Paintless. Nice. IPS. I work for a lot of guys in this area, and that seems to work for me. I like just the same way that guys chase Hale and they're independent contractors.
Mm-hmm.
I like doing retail here, and I don't have any accounts, and I don't plan on building accounts right now. I like going to work with guys, and since I don't have accounts, it seems like that works out really good.
You're going like freelancing, like just in your area. That's nice.
That's nice. Yeah.
Definitely.
I like it.
Pushed and polished asks, do you sub out your mobile work when you chase, or do you have a committed employee? Or
no, the guys who work me and my retail, I get calls and pretty much from North Austin all the way almost to San Antonio. If I get a call and I have a friend, which I probably will in one of those areas, I let them have it. If I'm out of town that week, if they can't wait for me to come back, nice. They can have it. So that's where I'm at right now. It might change if I slow down, but while I've been really busy, I just haven't worried about it. I just keep
That's
working.
cool.
Yeah.
So you're sharing the love.
Yeah.
So you're eventually going to stop doing Hale, right? Or how does it?
There's always Hale rolling through.
Right, Texas.
Yeah. Every summer, I spent all summer here in Austin, and we didn't really get hit with a hailstorm, but cars have been coming through. So I just subcontract with a few other companies, and it felt like I was at a hailstorm, but I got to come home every night.
That's nice. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's good.
So that's one of those opportunities that I'm if it presented itself and minor dents were busier, that would be fine. But I have a hard time only doing 5 or 6 dents in a day.
So unique the way you're set up, the freelancing thing and just going with the punches and still being able to have work. It speaks a lot about, I think, about your like free spirit that you're giving off right now, at least for me. I don't know. I'm kind of admiring it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I probably make it sound a lot more exciting.
I mean, calm and just,
it's the Southern in you, the relaxed.
Yeah, that's what probably.
Chill.
Yeah.
Hospitality.
Yeah, I've been bad off, so I'm not scared of that.
Okay.
Anymore. So yeah, I know we're a long way away from being bad off again.
Nice.
That's good.
So as a traveling Hale tech, let me ask you that. What are 4 things you kind of ask for when you're when there's a storm that hits and someone's, hey Charlie, can you come or can you help us? What are like 3 to 4 things that you need to know before you go?
Great question, Dave.
All right, so there's where the prima donna Hale guy comes out in.
That's fine.
Oh,
that's
man.
okay.
Here we go.
That's okay.
Like
these are things that you want to know. So I mean,
let me write these notes down. Hold on.
So from me, I said that I really like to be around friends and stuff like that, but I'm kind of a yapper, and so if I'm around like 10 guys, I don't get anything done. So I don't like. I want to kind of know, am I going to be in a shop or a warehouse with 50 dent guys, or am I going to be in a shop that a body shop that needs like 4 or 5 techs? That's where I thrive.
What's the setting? What's the setting of this storm for me? Where do I fit in? That's
right.
Gonna be like the number one thing.
Yeah, that's the number one thing. Do they think this is also, when I was chasing Hale, I lived on the road. I needed to know this. I don't go to 1 month storms because I'm never the first guy there. I live on the road, so I can't be the first guy there, but I can stay for 6 months. You know, so is this a long-term storm? Is it a secured shop? You know, there's a lot of companies that will share a shop, and that means no one has that company. I can work in that situation. So basically, I just want to know if this is going to be a shop that's going to need work for 6 or 7 months or something like that, or if it's just a 3-week guy. I can't go to a 3-week storm because when I was chasing Hale like that, because I mean, it would take me 8 or 9 days to get there.
All right, nice. Yeah. Anything else you tend to ask for, or you tend to?
How soon do we get paid? Is it a shop that pays once a month? Is it something that you have to wait, 14 days after it's a month?
I thought it was like prima donna, like you need your feet rubbed and you need champagne, something like that. But
I need strawberries in the dressing room. I need.
What's on your What's on Charlie Molina's rider?
Let me ask you, Charlie, and this may get a little bit personal. And was there ever an issue where you didn't get paid on these bodies? Because I know you're on the road, and some of these guys just tend to say, "Nope, take me to court." They may kind of buck you. I mean, is there a situation?
I didn't get paid when PARs, if they're not bankrupt, they still owe me a little bit.
Yeah.
No, 2 years ago we had a shop go out of business, still owing us here in Austin, and that's something that I fought through. I actually even had some guys with high tech kind of guide me through how to handle that, because the shop ended up becoming a Caliber, but Caliber just is not responsible for what the other shop didn't pay.
Nice.
So if there's some guys out there that are looking to become Hale techs, or thinking about, maybe the route techs, they want to travel, what are some things that you would kind of give as advice, or, preventative measures, things that they need to ask, things that they could, look out for before traveling for Hale or going to a storm to work?
Man, for someone who doesn't have a network out there, I don't know if I know how to do that. Honestly, I would say you should probably build your network online, go to MTE a handful of times, meet some guys. That's going to be worth it, because just running out there blind and working for, somebody who's just known for burning guys, that's just not something I've had to worry about. I've had a body shop go out of business and a Hale company go out of business, and those are the only times I've ever been burned.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard some horror stories, and I think that
I think it has to do with horror stories have to do with not knowing who you're going to work with, which I've just not been in that situation.
Nice. So we're going to open up the chat, guys. So if you guys have any questions for Charlie, feel free to put them in the chat, and Dave will go back and read them off. But Charlie, let's talk about your YouTube channel, because I think a lot of people don't know you actually have a growing channel with, if I remember correctly, I think 30 or 40 videos on it. What got you into the whole YouTube mix?
Gene Fetty.
Okay. All right. What did he say, or what did he do, or how did that work out?
Just something that everybody kind of knows. Video that's the future.
Okay.
You can post 1,000 before and after pictures, and I mean, that's great. Anything that you can to build your portfolio, but nothing draws somebody's attention like like video. I mean, I'm uncomfortable in front of the camera. Honestly, this doesn't even feel like being in front of the camera, but even still, I'm a little bit uncomfortable. But yeah, I just thought that was a great place to make free commercials.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because YouTube is you find that in Google. If you Google, you know, dent repair in my area, you'll see one of the commercials.
Yeah, nice.
And they're not great, but
nah,
they're all I knew how to do.
They do their job, right?
Right. Yeah.
Nice. So Dino has a question. I'm gonna kind of reword it here. What is the average percentage that a technician will get paid on the road? What is like the common percentage, if you're willing to share that?
The most common percentage is like 70% of what the shop takes in. So depending on what their discount is going to change.
Okay.
You know, whether you're working for 50% or 70%, it's normally still 70% of their net.
Okay. All right. Understood. So to clarify that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie, a lot of time, unfortunately, or however you want to put it, you have to give a percentage to the body shop for setting up the deal. They tend to want a percentage. And hopefully that changes. But anyway, as the company that Charlie works for, they bill out a lower percentage for the actual invoice. And then out of that number, it would be 70%.
Yeah, you normally
that makes sense.
Get about 77. That's about average. There's a lot of cases where you get quite a bit higher than that. Depending on the situation and the responsibility you get, I'm anywhere from 80, 75. That's pretty common.
Nice. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, that's really good. So, any questions, Dave? I haven't looked too hard in the questions.
Yeah, Push and Polish. He had asked, have you worked with someone that won't feed you the amount of cars that you can actually do? Because they don't feel that you can produce the quality in a speedy fashion, when in fact you really can.
This guy knows me. Yeah, no, I run into that a lot, man. My quality gets me in trouble. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
You know, Push and Polish, I think he's a newer tacker, you know, and he's just asking something that may come up. You know, if he feels he is confident in his skill, but someone still isn't, and not feeding him that amount of work due to their judgment or their subconscious, not what's actually in front of them.
No, when I'm in an area that work starts getting throttled, it's honestly because it started slowing down and there's still a few guys there, so it starts getting, you know, spread evenly. That's pretty much the only times that, you know, they slow down how many cars you get.
Yeah, I said it's happened to people that he knows, and I guess I don't know if that's a common thing or
maybe it is. No, I've seen it to where, like, if you're a really fast tech and you're doing, you know, twice as many cars as other guys, they'll start to throttle you when it starts to slow down. So the other guys still have something.
Got it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Straight Lines asked, do you do the whole vehicle on Hale? And how long does it take you to do an average car?
7. No, I don't. Average car.
7 minutes or 7 hours?
No, I don't.
7 cars.
So it just depends on the situation. Like, since I'm not on a permanent spot in Denver, when I fly up, I'm not doing solo cars. I'm just, you know, I squeeze in and work with a buddy. So at that point, I'll work wherever I fit in. But when I was chasing Hale, I did prefer to work alone, unless it was like a good friend that you know how to split cars with.
Nice. And you would average about 1 car a day.
It really depends on the storm. Honestly, I don't even know what an average Hale car means.
Right.
Yeah.
That's hard. It's all obviously storm dependent.
Yeah.
But what do you prefer?
I prefer like $4,000 cars.
Well, time wise on the cars.
Oh,
so is that a 2-day car or 3-day car or 8-day car?
So I prefer the
larger repairs.
I don't mind a larger repair. You'll definitely make way more money on cars that can get done in a day. Versus like if I've spent 6 days on a car before. I mean, you'll never make the daily average you can on a car that you can finish in one day.
Yeah.
Now, what's your go-to panel? We all have our favorites: hood, roof, trunk, rails.
I'm a hood guy.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a hood.
You're
guy.
a hood guy.
We'll get along just fine.
Yeah. I'm a hood and deck lid guy. Deck lids are when I split cars for like 2 years with a good buddy of mine who owns El Paso Dent Repair. And it just seemed like for 2 years, all I did was hoods and decks.
Well, I'm roof, so you can come down all day long, Charlie, when it hails.
There's always certain roofs that get saved, for me.
Nice. So someone's asking what software do you edit your videos? I guess we can go around the room, guys, since we all edit videos. Charlie, you want to start?
Yeah. I use like on my phone, I use a few different ones, like just for like quick Instagram videos. I use a free app called Quick. Mm-hmm. It's not a real in-depth editor. But it's free, and it does do it for my phone. On a computer, I use a bigger software by Wondershare.
Okay.
Called Filmora.
Okay. Yeah, my buddy uses that.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to go?
That's a good one for beginners.
Final Cut Pro.
Same.
Final Cut.
Yeah, Final Cut. I think, Charlie, you have a brand new PC over there, so we're speaking foreign to you.
No, yeah, you know what, man, you had me convinced, and I was about to go full blown Apple, and I got online and I was like, oh, I'm gonna build it, but I already had my niece's boyfriend was actually building this computer already. And I was like, oh, I can't. I like the computer. I just got it this week. I haven't edited a YouTube video in months.
Nice. So you can't wait to.
Now I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. David, looks like we have Straight Line says, Charlie, when you see an aluminum hood with no axis, I guess you're on glue. Is that losing a day? Like, what happens? Because that's a good thing. If aluminum hood like that just takes you so much more time, how do you deal with that if you're splitting a car or just how do you deal with that?
So the shops that I've worked in for honestly maybe the last 12 to 15 years, they just have zero tolerance for drilling holes. Right. So when you get a honeycomb hood, if it's beat, it just gets replaced. You don't spend all day on that. Okay. And it's not even an option. You don't have the option. And now if it's something that's kind of lighter, like you can even a honeycomb hood with like 40 or 50 dents, you can still work it out, and you just push through. You just get to it.
When does a hood become like if you know you're gonna have to spend 9 hours on that hood, it's kicked automatically?
Oh man, this is where I get myself in trouble. For me, if I can do it, I do it. If this one took longer, then that's just the cards I was dealt on that one.
I got you. A luck of the draw type thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Any more questions? Go ahead.
That's not something that's some of the reasons that sometimes even friends of mine won't want me at a shop if they're at they're at a shop and things are going good, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have to do any aluminum hoods here." You know, they just keep me out of that shop because I don't have a filter either. I'm like, "Oh, we could do that hood."
And, do you glue pull the front of hoods, or do you tool them typically?
I am a crazy accessor. I will get a tool on it. Yeah.
You feel more comfortable with tools over glue pulling?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
He's old school. Glue was not even a big thing back in the day. So
I remember. I was about 3 years in. The first time I was like, "Oh, glue pulling is going to be a real thing." I remember hearing about it like in 2002, and I didn't get it. I didn't get it until later. And no, maybe it was around 2002 when I started glue pulling. But the first thing I ever glue pulled was aftermarket paint, and it was that Worth toolbox, the big purple tabs.
Yeah.
And man, I remember the very first pull just pulled that entire purple tab of aftermarket paint off, and I was like, "This is garbage." And they actually had it in their little pamphlet that was in the box, and it said, "Don't do it on aftermarket paint." Like, oh, we didn't know how to take the glue off the tabs either.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just lay them.
I remember trying everything, dipping them in like race car fuel. There was an aerosol spray that just turned hot glue into slime.
That's it. It was the Worth glue remover. You used to be able to spray on there, and it would just be like a slimy, gummy mess. I remember those.
Yeah, it seemed like a product that they would sell at Walmart to get retail customers to stop wanting to glue pull.
I mean, we used denatured alcohol for 10 years.
I used that when I found denatured alcohol. I was like, "That's amazing," and then I felt so stupid when I realized how good regular alcohol works.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How corrosive and bad that denature is for you too.
Yeah, we used to have these 10 jugs.
Mm-hmm.
So looks like I scroll back. I think Kent was asking, how is your wife's shoulder?
Thanks, Ken.
People are asking.
She's doing good. She went to physical therapy today.
Nice.
My wife had a few surgeries last year. And, 2 of them was bicep surgery and rotator cuff surgery. And now she's got range of motion at physical therapy where she's almost to 90 degrees. Nice. They say that rotator cuff takes a long time to heal from. And a lot of dent guys, I think we all live with, both of mine are torn. Both of my shoulders click.
Wow.
And have for years, but I don't think that I can take 6 months off.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it takes, like a year to 6 months for shoulder surgery.
I think that's one of the reasons why Endeavor built his flat rod. I think we were talking about. Have you used that rod?
I haven't, but I didn't understand it. But when I talked to him at MTE, it just really clicked, man.
Yeah.
Pushing off of that flat. I'm someone who likes to use those big double bended tools, to where if that thing twists on you,
yeah,
and it made sense. If you're pushing off of that flat edge, you could do it with one hand. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, Charlie, that is the end of the show. I know we can talk for probably about another 30 minutes to an hour, but I'm pretty sure all of us got to get home to get to our wives. But Charlie, is there anything you want to say to our viewers before we go? Any plug, anything?
Where can they find you? Where can they reach you?
Yeah.
If they need you for Hale, can they contact you?
Anything.
Yeah. So my website is thepdrshop.com, THEPDRSHOP. You can find me on Gmail at the PDR shop, Charlie Molina. or Instagram. That's pretty much the places I hang out is on Instagram now. It just seems easier.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But yeah, you feel free to follow me. I know, honestly, you know, we all create these YouTube channels for retail customers to find us, and retail customers aren't following, you know, aren't following our account. So when you build up followers, that's the community, that's the dent guys, and it does help. So I follow a ton of us.
Yeah.
Because I know if they're doing it, it helps. It helps having another follower.
Nice. That's what, Charlie. I appreciate you taking the time to, you know, share your story and you know, give us some tips and tricks, and obviously your tools of choice.
Fancy moose knuckle
for, you know, keeping up with us on the show. I think we got some regulars in here that are always in the chat, so I want to thank you guys for that. Any of you guys want to say anything? Ryan, Dave?
No, man. Thanks for coming on, and I'll definitely be giving you a ring this year. So anybody that does hoods and trunks, welcome.
Awesome guys, man. I had a great time chatting with you. Sorry if I trail off. Like I said, if I do,
this show is about you. You could have talked about sandals, whatever.
Like cruisers.
Dave, you want to say anything?
You can follow me at Windy City Dent Repair, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And thank you again, Charlie, for coming on and taking the time out. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, guys, that's the end of the show. Appreciate for everybody that is joining in and stays to the end. To hit that thumbs up if you can on your way out, and also remember that this is a podcast that will be released on Thursday. So check that out, share the show if you guys can, and we appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving us. See you guys on the next show. Peace.
Thanks, guys.